shame we're in. We the people, storm-torn steeple, cracked stained glass, but the light shines equal. We are not the chains that keep you in. We the people. Yeah, we the people.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, so good to be back here again for this week's episode on We the People. And we've got so much stuff going on right now that you're processing one thing and then you're in the middle of processing something and then something else gets thrown at you and you don't even know what's happening because you're still processing over there and this is being thrown at you over here. And this is, let me stop this for a second and let me go over there and try to process that. And all of a sudden, two things get thrown at you in the front. And you're just, your brain is like, your brain becomes like scrambled eggs, As I've had a very busy week this week. One was celebrating the Filipino community, and again, I want to be very clear that when I show up to tens of thousands of Filipinos celebrating their life, their liberty, their country that has assimilated here in the United States of America, you better damn well believe that that's putting America first, because, and especially when they're all living in New York, where you're talking about over 100,000 votes that can go to Bruce Blakeman, right? We can, all in one day in November, if Bruce Blakeman is the next governor of New York, it can end Kathy Hochul's, Enzo Ramamdani's political career all in like one day. So I'm going to do it a little differently because I'm not a politician. So maybe you guys need to be, shooken up a little bit and like a little jaw dropped or put the put this into your mindset, put the fear of God into you, that if Bruce Blakeman does not become governor in New York and you, again, put Kathy Hochul in there to redo her term, and she's attached to the hip at Zohra Mamdani, I'm going to tell you right now, your life in New York as you know it is finished, it is done, and it is over. I'm not, I got to tell you, I'm going to give you, when I tell you I make a promise to every single one of you in New York that I will stay here and fight to the bitter end. And the bitter end for me is in November. I'm between New York, Las Vegas, got a house in Los Angeles. I spend places in all the time, and equally in all those places. And I'm spending a lot more time in New York than I want to right now. But I know New York is in trouble and it needs help. And I've committed to spend as much time as I can here, at least till November, to this governor's race. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys are that stupid and you don't wake up and you don't understand that your life is going to take a major shift if Kathy Hochul wins again, I'm out of here. I'm finished. I'm gone. I'll either go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, enjoy the rest of my life over there, maybe go back to some, little area in Los Angeles, where I know that I can have some peace in my life because I own a property there. Or maybe I'll go back to Vegas because I got a beautiful home there. But if you think for a second I'm going to put up with one more day than I have to with this bullshit of socialism and communism, you are out of your freaking minds. That's never going to happen. So one of the biggest things right now that we're talking about is the people that are showing up for the New York Knicks. It is absolutely turning the city upside down. This could be the savior of New York. If the fans and the people in New York do this correctly, and if they keep their heads on their shoulders, which not sure it's going to look that way right now, if the videos that I'm popping out, the videos that I'm seeing, New York Knicks could be the savior of New York City. It doesn't, the Knick team, they don't recognize black. They don't recognize white. They don't recognize if you're Jewish. They don't recognize if you're Christian. They don't recognize if you're a peaceful Muslim. They don't recognize if you're a turtle at this point. Everybody, when I was there, was celebrating, dancing. I mean, I got everybody. I got everybody going. I was so pumped up. I went down there. You know, it's always been for me. It always has been, always will be about the kids. I love them. I adore them. I think that if they got good leadership, that they will do the right thing. And I'm going to show you some clips, some videos, the differential between good leadership. Yeah, we had a little glitch here for a second, but it's okay. I'm going to show you the difference between good leadership and poor leadership. You know, when you can guide and direct these kids into a positive lane, a positive moment, they will do it, and they want to be good. But I have to tell you that if you direct them down a dangerous path, like a Zohran Mamdani, a Kathy Hochul, or some kid that doesn't even know what the hell he's doing out in New York City and just starts going after Spurs fans because they're wearing a Spurs T-shirt or a jersey, the mob mentality is strong, man. It is a beast. It is a warrior fire. How do you get the mob mentality on the good side to take back your city? So I'm going to show you. I want you to do me a favor, guys, upstairs. Let's All right, so we're having a little technical difficulties with the clips. But when I get the okay, we'll show you asset one. And it's amazing when you direct them and guide them properly, how they will take the lead. They'll take your lead. You know, the other thing going on, obviously, out there was the Carmelo Anthony and the Metcalf case. Austin Metcalf, the young boy that lost his life over there in Texas. The conviction came in. Carmelo Anthony, 17 years old when it happened. He was convicted of murder, and they sentenced him to 30 years in prison. You know, but I want to be very clear, because it sounds like a long time, right? 30 years is forever, right? But with good behavior, it'll probably go to 15 years. And, you know, maybe they might knock it down a little bit also. So think about if he's 18 years old and he winds up doing, let's just say 12 years. That's what he's going to probably wind up doing out of the 30. So he'll still be 30 years old. You've got, for all intents and purposes, you've got your whole entire life ahead of you, right? And within that time, he can still say hello to his mom, his dad. He can still go through the moments of life, even though he lost his freedom for that time. But he'll be up in parole for about 10, 12 years, and he'll still be a young man, and he'll have the whole life ahead of him. Austin Metcalf, he's done. He's finished. He's over. He's gone. His life was robbed. It was taken from him. His mom, his dad, they'll continue to mourn for the rest of their lives. And he was twin. Do you know what that does and how that affects another twin that you just lost your twin? Man, that kid's going to be in therapy for the rest of his life. The only thing he knew was being a twin. No more firsts. They're all gone. Everything is gone. He'll never be married. He'll never graduate high school. He'll never graduate, even though his twin brother, accepted his diploma, but he didn't. So technically, he never had a chance to graduate high school. He'll never graduate college. He'll never fall in love. He'll never be married. He'll never have children of his own. He'll never be a grandfather. He'll never have so many incredible firsts that was taken away from him. And Carmelo Anthony's mother, as far as I'm concerned, first of all, she's disgusting. She's absolutely a vile human being. She's disgusting. And the way that she handled this whole entire thing, as far as I'm concerned, she put herself first, and she failed her children. She surely failed Carmelo Anthony. At the end of the day, there are some people in this world that shouldn't have children, and she's one of them. She's a vile human being. Instead of taking the high road and saying that justice happened and I feel so bad for the family that lost their child, she continued to call the white people racists. She just cursed and yelled at them. It's all the white people's fault. White this, white that. I heard, one black man screaming, "Oh, there's nothing good. The only good cracker is a dead cracker." I mean, the hate towards the white community is absolutely horrendous. It's disgusting. And, And at this time, I want to be very clear, with all this reparation bullshit, that in this lifetime, I've never owned a slave. And as far as I'm concerned, in this lifetime, you were never a slave and you will never be a slave. And nor do I have any intentions of ever trying to make you a slave. So stop with the bullshit and the attacks on guys like me. Call me a racist, call me a Nazi. I love when they call me a Nazi. Oh my God, I'm Jewish. Oh my God, let me go call my rabbi. Let me go pick up the phone, call my rabbi. I think I gotta go. I gotta give back my bar mitzvah. I just found out I'm a Nazi. Because these people are sick and they continue to shoot from the hip and they continue to don't know what they're talking about. And then we get the war in Iran and it says, oh, Mr. President, you said no new wars. I did say no new wars until innocent children have been getting executed and eliminated for wanting their freedom. So when I see women and children losing their lives, well, I guess all no new wars gets thrown out the window, doesn't it? Because our president is compassion and our president has humanity in him. But when you're struck with TDS, you don't understand, and you never will. Anyway, we're going to go to commercial break. But when we come back, hopefully we'll get these assets all figured out. And I really want to talk about what's going on as we got another game tonight for the New York Knicks. We'll be back with the midnight. Woo!
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of humility. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Let's go!
Rav family, it's time to stand up and fight back.
We have to be tough.
Join fellow patriots at the America First Warehouse for AMAC's Boot Camp for Patriots.
Yes, sir!
An incredible 2-day event designed to teach you how policy gets implemented, how grassroots movements create change, and how you can help shape the future of America.
Proud and free and standing tall.
On June 19th, don't miss Real America's Voice live, on site, with a special taping of Live from Studio 6B, The Freedom Truck, live music and barbecue. And on June 20th, it's Vendor Village, followed by AMAC's Boot Camp for Patriots live event. Tickets are limited and going fast. Scan the QR code now and reserve your spot today. 2 days of training, fellowship, and action brought to you by AMAC. Get your tickets now before they're gone.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed, because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Welcome back to We the People, streaming live at the America First Warehouse. One of the things I want to make sure that you guys do is very, very important, especially with my my following that's watching you right now, is make sure that you download our app at America First Media and Television. Our new website is almost rebuilt. Once that happens, We're going to do a full court press at the America First Media and Television app. So all you do is go to the App Store, download America First Media and Television. You go to episodes, and you find We the People or whatever show you want to watch. I think we'll get about 15 shows here. But if you want to watch We the People with the Midnight, make sure that you download that app. Obviously you can continue to watch us on Facebook. You can continue to watch us on YouTube. I think we're on Rumble. We're on X. We're streaming live on all the platforms. Not TikTok up until this point because with their sensitivity of their violations, we can't afford to stream this on TikTok until they figure that piece out. Anyway, I want to touch on what is happening right now in New York because New York is a real big hot spot right now, and I want to show you the video. The first asset I'm going to show you is watch how I methodically lead these children into a good mindset. When I say children, 20, 25, 30, 18, whatever it is. But I'm leading them right now. They might not understand it, but I'm leading them into a good, happy frenzy of celebrating a win after Game 2 of the New York Knicks. But take a look at this of how the mob mentality can be good when you can do the right thing. Let's fucking go! You see, what I want you to focus on when you're watching that video, what I want you to notice is not the celebration and the singing, which is awesome. The kids are unbelievable. No matter where I got to tell you, I have the ability to walk into a crowd of angry, miserable, and I can just turn the energy up and I can, and change it all, right? But what I want you to, because I know the ability of my power and my voice and my energy. I could have done something else, right? I could have made them angry. I could have made them pissed off. I could have frustrated them. I could have guided them to do very bad things. But thank God that I'm on the good side of being a human, right? So how does it go from something like that to something like this? And I recognize, by the way, I'm not going to tell you who I recognize, but I recognize some of the same individuals that what you just saw happy and celebrating. Take a look at asset number 2. That is your leadership. That is I'm going to be very clear with every single one of you. If that's the world that you want to live in, if that's the life that you want to have, then continue to vote for Zohran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul. Because they know what is going to happen, what is capable or the ability of happening. If they truly wanted the same things as I wanted, they could put people in the crowds to cheer them up, to pump them up, to make a good life, to give them clear direction of happiness and lead them into victory. They know that the only way that they can control us is they divide us. United we stand, divided we fall. That was allowed. Where's the police? Where's the agents? Where's the cops? Why didn't nobody stop it? These guys on a mob mentality, and those are the same kids. Those are the same kids that were singing and dancing and celebrating with the midnight, because when I walked into the crowd, that's what I demanded. I demanded respect. I demanded happiness. I demanded celebrating. I demanded only good things if you were going to celebrate and be with me. And it just kept trickling and trickling. I mean, it doesn't stop. Take a look at asset number 3.
Yo, back up. Take this through.
I mean, you see that kid can't be more than, I don't know, 16, 17. Could have been any of our kids, right? Guilty of wearing a Spurs jersey. That mob mentality, someone called it out, someone starting the trend. Anybody wearing a Spurs jersey, we're gonna get them, we're gonna beat them up. They are guests in our city. They are invited guests in our city, and that's how we treat the people that come to visit us. This is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. And those kids that you see in this mob mentality, they need guidance and they need leadership. And if you give them the guidance and leadership that I have to offer to them, you see how great of human beings they can be. You've got a guy like Zohran Mamdani, Kathy Hochul. They can put this to a stop. There's no difference between that and Delaney Hall over there in New Jersey. You saw when they called a curfew at Delaney Hall, it came to a halt. Finally, the governor stepped in. Curfew's done. 7 o'clock. Everybody's out. If you're here, you're going to get arrested. They arrested a few people, but nobody got hurt. The very next day, that's not part of the agenda. That's not part of the deep state. Take off the curfew. Let them go. There's no peaceful protesting. The government will tell you that. The local mayors will tell you they're peaceful. There's nothing peaceful about this. And the reason why they are mob mentality is because that leadership on the other side, Democrats, liberals, whatever you want to call them, are demanding them to divide and conquer. It doesn't matter if you are a young boy. It doesn't matter if you're a grandfather. It doesn't matter who you are. That one that you just watched was a young kid. Look at asset number 4. Another person gets attacked. Check this out. This is disgusting. Look at asset number 4.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit, they on him. Oh, shit. Get on his ass. Fuck the Spurs. Fuck the Tottenham. Fuck we Army. Fuck we Army.
My God. Look at this. Just a dad walking down the street, supporting his team. And they're all... And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to take that video and I'm going to send it off to my friends over the agency. Because if you watch that video, there's one young kid on the side. And he goes, there's a Spurs jersey. There he is. Get him. The reason why that guy, now I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened anyway once he got spotted by somebody else. But the second that kid incited that violence, as far as I'm concerned, whatever happened to that young man, and I saw some fake news coming out that he lost his life over that he hit his head. I think that's fake news, but I'll confirm that in another post. But the second he was pointed out by that kid in the jersey saying, there he is, go get him, that kid should be arrested immediately for inciting violence, and he should be held to the highest courts and be put in jail for whatever happened to that guy. This is not who we are. We're not a bunch of animals. And they have the opportunity to be good people. But the leadership in that city, and I find in every single blue city, is absolutely disgusting. It's beyond atrocity. And this is what they're doing. They are single-handedly taking down the United States of America. So if that's the case, let's just divide blue and divide red. If you want to be blue, go to the left. If you want to be red, go to the right. And let's see how, we'll coach our team, you coach yours. Let me see how that works out for you. Because at this point, either that or there is a civil war coming down the pipe. And I got to tell you, you know who the red owns? The red owns the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the CIA, the DEA, the FBI. We own the Coast Guard. We own ICE. It would be a decimation. If we decide to wake up one day and go pound for pound, it would be a decimation of the Blue Party. But that's not who we are. That's not who we've ever been. They'll be screaming and chanting, no king, no ICE, no ICE, no king, whatever else, Donald Trump, TDS. And you know where we're going to be on Sundays? The Jewish community will be in their temples with Hashem. And the Christian and the Catholic community will be in church with their Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's who we are. We don't hate. We're not angry. We're not pissed off. We're not trying to cause violence, and we sure don't want to take anybody's lives. My life, they absolutely want to shut me down and shut my voice and take my life. Anyway, when we get back, I'm going to continue to show you these videos. You stream it live with We the People with the Midnight. Woo!
250 years ago, a nation was born. Built on courage, driven by freedom, defined by patriots who stood their ground. Today, we don't just remember that legacy, we wear it. This is more than a shirt. It's a symbol of strength, freedom, and pride. I'm Steve Stern, COO of theflagshirt.com, and I invite you to celebrate 250 years of the United States with us. Wear your pride, stand for something, get your shirts today.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Corporate transfer. Fine, professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box. And I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
I got to tell you, as we left off, we're just talking about the difference of positive leadership and negative leadership and guidance in the world, and what we're seeing, at least what I'm seeing, is that there are people in power, in strength, when it comes to either wanting more money or wanting more land or wanting more power or wanting more control. And they truly believe that if they divide us, that they own us. And I can tell you right now, when I showed you that first clip, and I told, and if I would have, worked on that conversation with those kids and said, we're all going to hold hands together and positively looking for an amazing outcome to take back our city, I got to tell you, it could, it would be absolutely an amazing, amazing feat. And I think they would all follow. Kids are so impressionable and they're so vulnerable. And these young cats that we're dealing with right now, their minds haven't fully developed yet. And they're just looking for guidance, whether from a mom or a dad. And many of them don't have moms or dads, and they're kind of like lost on their own. Unfortunately, especially in the black community, that the numbers are absolutely through the roof, how many dads are not involved in their children's lives. It's horrible. Absolutely breaks my heart. I wish I got to tell you, I wish I could take all of these kids under my roof, under my wing, and guide them and give them the best opportunity at life. But still continue to call you a Nazi. They'll still continue to say, Midnight, you're not authentic. Midnight, you're a racist. Take a look. Again, I'm going to show you. And blacks and whites, I just don't understand it. Young black man walking down the street wearing a Spurs jersey. I believe when you watch the next clip, just a gang. Well, you'll see. Let's just take a look, and we'll talk about it after of who he gets attacked by. Let's look at the next asset. I think it's. Looks like he's surrounded by a bunch of black kids to me. Anybody in there white? Asian? Hispanic? It's fucking bullshit. This poor kid has to raise his hands up. Humiliated. Absolutely humiliated in his own community. Oh, because he's from Texas, not a New Yorker, not wearing a Knicks jersey. And I'm a huge Knicks fan. Let's go Knicks. But I can't side with this shit. It's disgusting, and I don't blame these kids. I blame the leadership. The Chiefs, the captains, NYPD. There were videos I'm just watching. Cops just watch them beat the shit out of each other. They don't care. They're not watching. Hey, you know what? We're not getting involved. Or maybe the direction from Zohran Mamdani. Do not get involved. Let them continue to beat each other up. That's how we keep control of the city. So whether you're in Dearborn, Michigan, Minneapolis, Minnesota, with that disgusting, I don't even know how the governor and the mayor, Jacob Fry, and Tim Walz, how they have not been arrested yet, or Ilhan Omar in the Somalian community. If you look at the common main characters of who is causing all of this, I don't understand it, and I don't get it. Or have they been pent up so much that this is what they need? This is how we're going to operate. This is what we're going to do. We don't want to be nice no more. We don't want to be good no more. They've masked us up in 2020. They held us back. They deprived us. We have so much pent-up energy that we are just going to now be bad. And I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit. I think the leadership by the highest power that we know in our White House, Donald J. Trump, should recognize this, look at it, acknowledge it, trials all over again. Start making arrests on all the leadership of these Democratic leaders that are absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, traitors to this country, dividing us, picking us apart one by one. These kids don't have a shot in hell to fight against these animals. And then you talk about the Islamic community, not Islam, Islamic jihad terrorists that are here, who's got an agenda for Sharia law in every household. That's their agenda. If you are not going to convert to Islam, in their book, the Quran, there's no reason for you to be here. So as far as I'm concerned, if any of you, whoever's out there that's watching this, or if you see it in the future, if you have no plans on converting to Islam, well, then stand up. Stand up for your country, stand up for your town, stand up for your city, stand up for yourself. Why do I feel like I am the only one out there with a handful of guys that are standing up for the millions of people? When is America going to wake up and fight for yourself? I don't have much time here, guys. I'm getting older. There's not, I've got a lot of fights still left in me, but I don't know how much longer. God forbid they break my head, they break my arm, they break my legs, I break my back. Take a beating that I can't come back from because I continue to go into the lion's den for every single one of us. But this leadership that is going, it's no stopping them. The next clip I'll show you again. New York City looked like a grandfather to me. A bunch of mob children attacking a single grandfather because they beat him to a pulp because he's got a Spurs jersey. Take a look at the next asset. It's all right. We can we'll go. Again, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but grandfather wearing a Spurs jersey, walking around New York City, supporting his team, San Antonio Spurs, that's a grandfather look like to me. That guy's going to easily be in his 60s. The mob catches him, chases him in between cars, throws him on the ground, starts kicking him and beating him. You talk about you want respect? Respect is earned. Respect doesn't just get handed over to you because you're demanding respect. You show respect, you get respect. That's how it works. But this mob mentality is disgusting, and it doesn't end. It just keeps pushing and keep pushing. Take a look and see if we can let's keep going. So take a look at Asset 7, another attack on a Spurs fan. Or maybe it was a Spurs bus, I think it was. Asset number 7, can we show that? This is the bus to the San Antonio Spurs, leaving the MSG. You tell me that Zohran Mamdani and the governor, Kathy Hochul, didn't know when the bus of the San Antonio Spurs were going to leave the Garden that this might happen? There's a high probability that we are not going to protect the team that's coming in to play in the NBA playoff, the championship? Are you kidding me? And we're okay with this. That was the bus after they beat the Knicks at the Garden, going back to their hotel. The bus was attacked and damaged, and the Knicks fans followed this bus to their hotels to continue to try to put a threatening experience to the players. This is who we are? This is disgusting. This mayor has got to get impeached now. He is disgusting. He's a liar. Every time he speaks, it is a lie. His phony smirks, his phony smiles. You can't beat this guy, if you don't match him up. You got to get dirty. Take the gloves off. He doubles down. He double downs on everything he does. He does something disgusting that we're blown away about. He doubles downs on it and confirms that's where he stands. This mayor needs to be impeached immediately. Does not give a shit about the people, does not give a shit about the city, does not give a shit about New York, surely doesn't give a shit about the United States of America. The only thing he cares about is his God, Allah, and his prophet, Muhammad, which he calls a perfect man. Let me remind every single one of you, their perfect man married a 6-year-old child, consummated the marriage at 9. It said that Aisha was still playing with her dolls when Muhammad took her when she was 9 years old and consummated her, deflowered her at 9. That's who they look for. This is not a religion. This is an ideology. And it is a cancer, not only here in the United States of America, it is a cancer in the world. As a Sudanese man, also, he was in Belfast, in Ireland, threw a man down, pinned him down, had a kitchen knife, and started trying to behead the man. Sudanese, Ireland, Belfast, try to take his head off. Thank God that there were citizens there that saved this man. Not before the man didn't take his eye, and then they burnt down the city. They burnt down his house. If you don't think this is coming, here it is. America must wake up against the evil ideologies of what this is, and you have a mayor that's running the biggest city in this country that is not, forget about what he says, his words are bullshit. Watch the actions that he does. When we come back, I'll show you some videos of his bullshit that he lies and lies and lies again to every single one of us. Well, I paid $1,000 for my own ticket to go see the New York Knicks. There wasn't a $1,000 ticket that was even offered. You couldn't buy the ticket for under $5,000. We'll be back. We the people.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just 2 entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round 2. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
Yeah, I was just reflecting during commercial break. I was just reflecting, my own children. as I was reading, going back, and I'm just going to jump off the Knicks for a second, but I'm going to come back because there's a lot of lessons to be learning right now. What's going on in New York, is that it's so important to the younger generation. One of the best things we can, one of the best things that we can do is teach them that when they get emotional, they must walk away. As I'm watching the thing coming out of Texas with Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, and if Carmelo Anthony, well, number one, he brought a weapon to wherever he came. That's a whole nother discussion. So, but with that said, if you've got that agitated, that excited, if Carmelo Anthony would just got up and walked away, well, Austin Metcalf would be alive today, and Carmelo Anthony wouldn't be in prison for the next 30 years. But with that said, I could just tell you that it's a sad case on both ends, and I know that 99% or high number of people that are in prison today, they're in prison because they lost their cool. One bad decision changes the whole trajectory of their whole entire life, and maybe. Up until this point, maybe this kid Carmelo Anthony maybe he wasn't a perfect kid. Maybe he was just okay. Maybe he was all right. Maybe he had some issues, some problems, but he would not be if he just would have just walked away. Doesn't matter what. I don't care what they said to him or you don't put your hands on somebody else, and you especially don't put out a weapon to hurt somebody unless you are defending yourself and you've got to protect yourself because you truly believe that your life is about to be taken. But outside of that, so we just want to, I want to put that out there and pray for both of those families and to the end of the younger generation that if you happen to watch this video, listen to me very carefully. When you are emotional, you are just to walk away. And I promise you, when you're done being emotional and it's all over, you're not excited anymore, the odds are you'll say to yourself, was I really upset about that shit? Because it doesn't really seem to be upsetting you now. But if you would have dealt with it then, and you could have, your response, most of the times, will be much worse than what you're actually upset about. Anyway, but outside of that, I want to go again. We got another clip coming through. I think this is asset number 8. I want to show you Zohran Mamdani talking about how the crime in New York is dissipating, but the referees was the biggest crime. And he's just a dick. Let me show you.
I would say crime is going down in New York City, but what we saw the other night did feel criminal. And I think when you talk about the absence of a flagrant, when you talk about, our coach was reminding the refs of how they were calling the game on one side of the court and not the other side of the court. So, I understand that this is going to be tough. This is the finals that we're talking about. But you just look at the disparity on fouls that were being called. I think many New Yorkers came away from that game with a very clear reflection of the absence of fair refereeing. I'll leave it there.
And that's a choice with people getting mugged and beat up and tormented and out in the arena. It's a choice for him to talk about the referees on side. That crime is down and crime is down where? In the Islamic community? Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure nobody's messing with the Islamic community right now because they have the full protection of the mayor that's there. But I know anti-Semitism, which I want to call anti-American, that's through the roof, on the rise, up thousands of %. Crazy. Absolutely. There's never been more a higher number today of anti-Semitism in New York, in the state of New York or New York City, under the guise of a mayor than Zohran Mamdani. So he's full of shit. He picks and chooses his battles, says what he wants to say, gives a stupid smirk, and he moves on. Because he's a smooth talker. The guy he's like a little mini Barack Obama. That's what he is. But then, thank God we got other leadership. Even though I don't like, Stephen Smith from the NBA, he opens his mouth. Donald Trump, don't come. I don't agree with him. Shut your mouth. Stay in your place. Shut your mouth. Stay in your place. If our president of the United States is a Knicks fan and he wants to come to the Garden and he happens to be the president and he wants to come, it's not for your place to say anything. But with that said, Stephen Smith, on the next asset, you'll see we all have choices. We can talk about what's inside the Garden or address what's happening outside of the Garden in this next clip. Take a look at Stephen Smith.
Going on.
Well, it's disgusting, and I think it's embarrassing.
Okay. All right. Well, more technical difficulties, but basically Stephen Smith is basically telling you that it's disgusting of what's happening outside, and that Spurs fans are here, and they're coming to see a game, and it's disgusting, what's happening. So, but this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with, and this is what's happening in the country. Is that nobody's taking accountability, and the leadership is failing our children. I'm telling you, I might tonight. I got to tell you, I might go to the Garden tonight, and I might just take my theory, and just turn a craziness into a positive moment. I'll just show up just like this. The fucking midnight's here. Here I am. Let's do this. Let's see how that works out. But I might get hugs. I might get laughs. I might get handshakes. Who knows? Maybe I'll get knocked out. But I will be going there with a positive twist and saying I'm here for you guys because I see that you guys are in trouble and you're being directed and led by really bad people. And I'm here to say that you're better than this, and you are better than this. But that's what's going on. That's what's going on over there in the New York Knicks. But again, this should resonate to the rest of the country. If you have positive leadership, you will get good stuff out of the younger generation. But they are strong. They are strong-willed. They are beasts. They think they are unstoppable. So they're dangerous. If you guide them the wrong way, as you see in these mob mentalities, you can see how dangerous and how bad they can hurt people. Let's see if this next clip is after Stephen Smith. Let's go to clip number 10, see if that's working.
Mom Donnie says the party is...
No. So again, we're having difficulties tonight showing these clips. But basically, she's saying that tonight, Mom Donnie is trying to take credit for a watch party, and again, more lies. Mom Donnie's taking credit for a watch party, but the watch party's been canceled because the NYPD is not going to allow that to happen. She said, which side of the fence are you on? You talk to your people saying, I got you for the watch party, but behind the scenes, that's not what's going on. In other news, I want to show you again if we can show this clip. Let's go to the next clip. 11. This is the war in Iran. We were attacked. Our Apache helicopter was attacked in Iran. Donald Trump looks like he's at the end.
For shooting down a U.S. Army Apache helicopter and now vowing to respond as necessary. The president sharing the update on Truth Social, confirming it was Iran that downed the attack chopper near the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Fortunately, both pilots aboard are safe and uninjured. ABC News learning they were picked up out of the water by an unmanned surface vessel and brought to land. So what is...
And then on this last clip that I'm going to show you, this is what your future's going to be when you attack the United States of America, period.
Overnight, multiple missiles and armed drones fired from Iran, taking aim at those Mideast countries hosting American bases, from Kuwait to Bahrain to Jordan. All of them intercepted, none of them causing injuries or damage. This just hours after the U.S. launched retaliatory strikes against Iran at President Trump's direction, hitting air defenses, ground control stations, and surveillance radar sites near the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. officials describing the strikes as a proportional response to unjustified Iranian aggression.
Listen, we don't have much time left, but I just want to touch on Iran real quick, that I'm absolutely supporting the war. I absolutely support regime change. I absolutely support saving women, saving children, as thousands upon thousands continue to get executed by the disgusting regime over there at the IRGC. When people say, Midnight, well, you don't speak about Palestine. Oh, I do speak about Palestine. Free Palestine, but free Palestine by that disgusting regime called Hamas. I'm tired of hearing about Israel. I'm tired of hearing that their government's the only bad one and nobody else is bad. Listen, I'm a citizen of the United States of America, and I'm very well aware and know that our government has probably caused the most atrocities than anybody else in the world. Doesn't mean I still don't protect and serve the United States of America. So when you talk about Iran, and when you talk about Palestine, you can't compare the two because you've got a community of children and women in Iran against the terrorist organization. When you talk about Palestine, until the citizens of Palestine denounce Hamas and tell them to get the hell out of here and then stop supporting them, how could you support women and children that are supporting the terrorist organization? So it's two different worlds, two different stories. So absolutely 100%. When it comes to the women and children of Iran, they're being drowned, they're being burnt, acid in their eyes, they're being dumped in ditches. I've seen children as young as the age of 5 and 7 years old being compromised by 5, 10, 15 men at a time. These are not humans, these are animals, these are beasts, and we should send them right back to hell where they came from. Let them go visit the Ayatollah Khamenei, where we sent them right back to the devil. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if we do not have regime change in Iran, then we have absolutely lost this war. If Donald Trump goes in there and strikes a deal with this disgusting son of, and I call him Baby Khamenei, and I know that he's unrecognizable right now because we whacked him pretty good, but there is no deal with the IRGC. They're playing us like chumps. They're playing us like jokes. They're playing us like we're a bunch of suckers, that we don't know any better what they're doing. They don't want to negotiate, and neither do we. It's very simple. A regime change for Iran must happen, or we absolutely lost this whole entire thing. Free the families of Iran, take the oil, and as far as I'm concerned, that'll be our payment. Don't give a shit at this point, and we will control the rest of the world and the rest of the countries. With Venezuela and the Iranian oil, they can take their control and shove it up their assholes. I gotta tell you, I love you guys so much. Get up. Fight now. If not now, when, I can tell you. But the patriots of the United States of America, we can't do it alone. And we need everybody, help from every single one of you. Sending my love to you and your families. Coming from the America First Warehouse, midnight. I am out. Woo!
For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope.